Week 7 briefing for the Indomitable cycle. So this is going to cover dates April 22nd to April 27th. So Monday, we're on back to front squats. As you've probably noticed, if you've been with EFT for this cycle, we're going back and forth between deadlifts and front squats. So we built up to a 1 rep max deadlift. Now we're going back up to a 5 rep max front squat. Okay, so 2 weeks ago was 1 rep max front squat. Now we're going to 5 rep max front squat. Build up to your 5 rep max, however many sets that takes. I have 5 listed. It's just there for reference. Train Heroic makes me put in a certain number of sets. If it takes you 10 sets to find your 5 rep max, if you take longer to warm up, whatever, or maybe your front squat's super not strong, so it doesn't take you that long to find your 5 rep max, that's fine too. It can be less than the prescribed sets, it can be more than prescribed sets. And you can even add or subtract sets within the app. So keep that in mind. Again, as many sets as it takes to find your 5 rep max, you're going to drop 10% from that weight and do 2 sets at max reps. So with 10% less than your 5 rep max for Monday, for this day of training, so it's kind of auto-regulated that way based on your recovery and training status, whatever you have to give for your 5 rep max, knock 10% off of that for those last 2 sets of max reps. And then we are going to pair those up with box jumps. However many sets it takes you to get your 5 rep max front squat, that's how many sets of box jumps we want you doing. So if it takes you 10 sets of front squats, pair that all 10 sets with 5 box jumps. With box jumps, I've had to have said this before, jump as high as you can every rep. Jump as high as you can, and the box is a landing point. It's not a target. Don't jump up to the box. Jump as high as possible above the box and land on the box, okay? It's not a feat of can you jump to a 24-inch box. We want you jumping as high as possible, developing that power. The box is just there to land on. That's all it is. All right, let's take a look for comparison's sake. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. The last time we built to a 5 rep max front squat. So March 11th, let's take a look at this, if possible. All right, here we go, we're in. So last time we did 5 rep max front squat. You built up to it. This was, for comparison's sake, it was March 11th. When you did your last 2 sets of max reps, it was a 15% drop. So there's a little bit of a progression there from the last time we were at this intensity in this rep range to this week. Is last time we dropped 15%, this week we're dropping 10%. Ideally, in a perfect world, is your 5 rep max is increasing, and thus most certainly what you're doing for that volume work at the end is going to be more than last time as well. Okay, we got some accessory movements to go with it, walking lunges and calf raises. We have calf raises on a plate because it's set up for someone that's got a home gym, a garage gym. But if you have a step at home, if you're in a commercial gym and you have a leg press machine or a calf raise machine, those are good to go. Those would honestly be more ideal. But we always write these with the garage gym user in mind. On those walking lunges, on a technique standpoint, if you want to hit more glute and hamstring, have a little bit more forward lean when you're in the bottom position. If you want to hit more quad, try to stay more upright. Just a little tidbit to add onto that. And now for our circuit, we got 2 bouts of 5 minutes of work, 3 minutes of rest in between. The last time we did 5 minutes of work was week 1. Week 1 of this cycle, we did 5 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest, 5 minutes of work. Now we are doing 5 minutes of work, 3 minutes of rest, 5 minutes of work. It's going to be sumo deadlift high pulls, air squats, and sit-ups. So a little bit of weightlifting mixed with calisthenics. And again, there's the progression here is that from the last time we did this time domain for training, we had more rest in between. So the progression now is a reduction in the rest time. And then we finish off with sandbag, bear hug carry, or whatever modification or substitute you need to make. Maybe you got to hold a goblet, kettlebell in a goblet squat position, or a dumbbell front rack, a barbell. But from last week, it was a 10-second, we progressed 10 seconds. So it's 50 seconds per set this time. Same thing as yesterday for Tuesday, same thing as Monday. Bench press, 5 rep max. Once you find your 5 rep max, however many sets that takes, drop 10% and do 2 sets of max sets. For those max sets on Monday and Tuesday, 2 minutes rest in between. 2 minutes in between. Really set an actual timer to it, a watch to it. Start a timer on your watch, or the app. The Trainer Work app has a timer in as well. You can use all those sets. However many sets it takes to build up to your 5 rep max, you're gonna pair it with 5 ballistic push-ups. However many sets it takes to find your 5 rep max on bench press, whether that's 2 or it's 12, each set is paired with 5 ballistic push-ups. A couple of hypertrophy movements: military press, bent over row, classic push-pull. And then our circuit, it's going to be 8 rounds for time, 200-meter run, 5 ground overhead. Ground overhead, we've talked about this before, being an umbrella term for anything that gets the barbell from the ground to over your head. Prescribed is 115 pounds or 75 pounds. Scale that weight for you. Make it heavy but doable. You got to do 8 rounds of it, and we don't want you moving it like it's air. But at the same time, we don't want it being so heavy that you have to do like singles. You do 1 rep and you gotta like walk away and like shake your arms out, and then you gotta do another single. We want you to keep moving, but make it challenging. Onto our body weight pull-up progression that we've been doing this cycle. It's gonna be 4 rounds, every minute on the minute, 6 pull-ups. All right, so that progression's been pretty linear this whole cycle. If you can't do 6 pull-ups or you're unable to stick to the EMOM even with modifications to your pull-ups, just do 24 pull-ups 4 times as fast as you can. However many sets that takes, get your 24 pull-ups done. All right, Monday, Tuesdays covered. Wednesday, active recovery, EFT day. Thursday, starting off for strength training, paused bench press with a 3-second pause at the bottom. Don't let the weight just like rest on your chest and you're just like hanging out. Hold it at the chest. All right, so there's still the tension in the muscles. Hold it at the chest for 3 seconds and then explode up. Take as many sets as you need to find your 3 rep max on that paused bench press. 3 rep max, 3-second pause bench press. 3-second pause on each rep, in case I need to say that. Our strength endurance complexes are progressing along, as you have probably noticed. We're on the body armor complex this week for 2 rounds. So 1 set is 2 rounds of 2 strict press, 4 push press, 6 front squats. Or if you need to, you can rack the weight, put it on your back, and do heel elevated back squats if you are unable to do the front squats, even with modification. You can do that 2 rounds is 1 set. And then you do as many sets as you need to build to a max. Okay? Seems like there hasn't been too many issues with that. And then, all right, so last week or 2 weeks ago was our last multimodal conditioning. That sounds so douchey, multimodal, and I say it all the time, and I hate it every time I say it, I hate it. But I don't know how else to describe it. Multiple modes of exercise put together. Last time we did this was 2 weeks ago for this moderate duration Metcon. That was 16 minutes. Now this week it's going to be 18 minutes. 18-minute AMRAP of 30 hang clean high pulls. If you want to make those hang power cleans, then let it rip. We've covered that ad nauseum, why we do hang clean high pulls or why we prescribe it. But if you want to do hang power cleans, then let it rip. I fully support it. So that's at 30 of those at 115 or 75 pounds, 30 inverted rows, and then an 800-meter run or subbing a 1,000-meter row. Partition the hang clean high pulls or hang power cleans, if that's what you choose to do, and the inverted rows however you see fit. So you could do 5 and 5, 5 and 5, 5 and 5, or 10 and 10, 10 and 10, 10 and 10. Do it however you want. Get those 60 reps done. So 30 and 30, get all 60 of those done as quickly as you can. High intensity, not necessarily max intensity, but high intensity, partitioned however you see fit. And then you have your 800-meter run. And then you just repeat that for 18 minutes. Keep her steady. Try not to go too hot on all the Metcons that we prescribe. Try not to go too hot out of the gate where you're starting off just blistering fast, and then you're barely hanging on at the end. If you need to, back off at the beginning and then intensify or push the intensity as the program or as the conditioning continues on, versus starting off too hot. Okay, so that's our Thursday. Friday, Flex Friday, progression continuing. The last time, so these are the same exercises as weeks 1 and 3 and 5. So 1, 3, and 5 is the same rep scheme as week 3, which was, let's see, March 29th. So March 29th, you go back, if you trained that day and you did this Flex Friday, go see what weights you did on March 29th and try to beat them, if only by a fractional weight. Try to beat them this session, okay? That's why we don't change exercises a ton, so that you can progressively overload your training. You can go back, look what you did March 29th, and try to beat those numbers this time, okay? Proper hypertrophy training. And then our tactical Saturday, we got our T agility drill, 5 sets of 1 as max intensity. Rest as much as you need in between those. Those are max power, max explosiveness, full send, and then rest, hang out, get some water, whatever, and then again, max explosiveness each time. Our 100 meter runs went from 6, so a total of 600 meters of sprints last week, to 8, so a total of 800 meters in sprints this week. And then our conditioning, our tactical Saturday conditioning, 4 rounds for time, 800 meter run, 30 hang clean high pulls at 95 or 55 pounds, so a little bit lighter than the conditioning on Thursday. Hang clean high pulls, again, if you want to do hang power cleans, then go right ahead. Keeping it lighter here, no partitioning these. 800 meter run, 30 hang clean high pulls, 30 pull-ups. No partitioning that, and it's for 4 rounds, all right? So nice and steady, high intensity, not max intensity, with a tactical skill integration. So there's 4 rounds. After each of those rounds, disassemble and reassemble your firearm as quickly, as efficiently as you can. So working fine motor skills under physiological stress and fatigue. So that is your tactical Saturday with tactical skill integration. That should be a good one. And that's your week of training. Again, as always, if you need anything, let us know in the chat or shoot us an email. Go get it.